Hey, everyone! Welcome back to Curiosity Lane, the place where we explore fascinating facts around the world. Today, we're delving into the mysteries of the human brain and asking the big question, what if we used the full capacity of our brains? Before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on our thought-provoking content. Let's get started. Scientists, especially neurologists, love talking about brain function. Our brain does a whole lot for us, but what would happen if we used our entire brain capacity? And why does this question seem to come up everywhere, across so many fields of study? It's discussed in medicine, education, and pop culture. What's all the excitement about? Well, let's get our answer by starting with a new question. How much of our brains do we actually use? And no, it's not the popular 10% myth. That was debunked by numerous studies and neurologist Barry Gordon in Scientific American. The 10% myth has been given way too much credit in films and other media, so most people started believing it was true. It turns out that most of our brain is active most of the time, but not all parts may be working 100% at the same time. This is true even when we're sleeping because we're most likely dreaming, right? Even dreaming takes a lot of brain activity. The exact percentage we're using is different from person to person too. So, we can't calculate the precise percentage, but you probably use every part of your brain every day, just not all at once. Since the brain is made up of several tiny components and is quite complicated, let's only look at the main components and how they work. The brainstem, cerebellum, and cerebrum are the three main, substantial sections. Our brain regulates bodily processes that we are unaware of, such as breathing, the functioning of our lungs to enable us to walk, the movement of our eyes to see, and the process of digestion that allows us to absorb nutrients from food. In addition to all of that, our brains enable us to remember things, feel emotions, and think. Plus, your brain can store all the information we gather by using our five senses: sight, smell, touch, tasting, and hearing. This is why you can remember a taste, like grandma's apple pie. Yum! Most of the higher functions, like those concerning emotions and processing what your five senses pick up, take place in the cerebrum. It's the largest part of your brain and contains your left brain and right brain. This part of the brain also fine-tunes complex movement, so that you can dance ballet, swim, or dribble a basketball. Our greater motor skills, such as walking, sitting, standing, adjusting our posture, and balancing, are controlled by the cerebellum. This part of the brain also controls speech, so that we can talk to each other and understand what's being said to us. For instance, a child who is just starting to walk and talk has a very active cerebellum. We can also pick up new coordination and motions thanks to it. We couldn't move at all without the brainstem, which is connected to our spinal cord at the base of the brain. It also regulates our respiration, heart rate, and swallowing. The brainstem is also responsible for alerting us when it's time to get up or when we're asleep. Phew, talk about multitasking. So where does this brain capacity question come in? Remember, we use most of our brains all the time, but not every part all the time. Sleep is a good example of this concept, and we'll keep it basic. When you're sleeping, you're using your brainstem, which allows you to fall asleep and stay asleep, and probably most of your cerebrum, so that you can dream. But you probably aren't using a whole lot of your cerebellum, because you aren't talking or moving much when you're sleeping unless you're a sleepwalker. Now back to our question, what if we used 100% of these functions 100% of the time? Would we be able to move objects and hear people's thoughts, like in the movies? Sorry, but no. For one thing, we would get really tired. Using all of your brain at the same time would require just about all of the blood circulation you have, which would rob other organs of what they need. The body would actually go into survival mode from the resulting lack of oxygen. Different organs would start to shut down in priority order. Secondly, running a brain that's using 100% capacity would be so powerful that it would require all the energy we've got. We would need constant fuel. In other words, we would be hungry all the time. Well, that sounds like me already. Anyway, our stomachs might not be able to keep up with all the digestion the constant eating would require. Sounds like a bad tummy ache. In addition to all those physical problems, a brain using full capacity would also mean that our neurons would be firing all the time. In other words, we would be processing sight, smell, touch, taste, and sound at a super high speed, which means we'd be processing and analyzing information constantly. Doing all of this at the same time might make our judgment a little cloudy. We might become a danger to ourselves. We've evolved to the exact point that we're supposed to be, where the body and brain are balanced. So however you want to look at it, if we used 100% brain capacity, our brains would be too powerful for our bodies to handle, or our bodies would be too weak for our brains. Using 100% capacity of our brains just isn't in the cards for us right now, not physically, mentally, or scientifically. There's just no evolutionary purpose. Sorry if that was a little bit of a letdown. But who knows what our scientific or evolutionary future holds? Because our brains and our bodies work in sync, we can push them both, simultaneously, to our very highest potential. How about you? Do you know of any brain myths or interesting facts about the brain? If so, let me know in the comments down below. And if this video really gave your brain a workout, give it a like and share it with a friend. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay on the bright side of life.